Michel Martin. Thank you.
시인 미키 미첼 마르틴은 오늘
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's put your right hand. Please, right hand. Forward your right hand. Okay. Please follow me. Both ranks. New both ranks. Haiti. New Haiti. His Excellency Mr. Joseph Martin, President of the Republic of Haiti, and his representative.
Now, Haiti has had difficult times, but I firmly believe that Haiti will get over soon with the whole question of the whole people under the leadership of
President Martin.
Haïti a connu des moments difficiles, mais je suis sûr que Haïti va connaître des moments glorieux sous le leadership du nouveau président Joseph Martelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the beginning of this new millennium, globalization has been accelerated and information technology revolution has gathered force more and more. The including independence of the world into one global village is causing the political, economical, and cultural boundaries between nations to lose their meaning. Remarkable economic growth in less than half a century after having suffered poverty and hunger. In other words, Korea transformed itself from a recipient foreigner to a full player in the international effort to eradicate poverty. As you know well, KOICA, the Korea International Cooperation Agency, performs Korea's development cooperation program since 1991. We Koreans are proud of KOICA's various useful activities for the developing countries, including Haiti. So, I, at KOICA, have also tried to cooperate with our friendly developing countries as much as I can, because I love KOICA's motto, cooperation for a better world, with a spirit of share and serve. I'd like to tell you about Korean economic development based on rural development and education briefly. At the first part, I'd like to discuss the rapid industrialization from 1960s through 1970s, 80s, 90s, and to this new millennium. One of the most important and contentious issues in economic has been and will be the proper role of the government in promoting economic and social development and the role of education, including job training.
Distinguished
1960s to 1970s, Korean government put emphasis to agricultural industry for eradicating the absolute poverty. At the time, we have almost nothing even to eat because of the brutal colonial rule by Japan and the severe Korean War. But my parents generation, have two things in mind. One is to plant trees on our territory, and the other one is to educate their children, even though while they are fastened to their stomach tightly because they have nothing to eat. Resources and its education and development were the single most important factor responsible for Korea's release from the vicious circle of poverty and underdevelopment that had existed for many generations. With scant natural resources, education or human resource development, HRD, played a vital role in modern Korea's development. Korea now has emerged as an exemplary model case of national development by education and rural development, what we call 새마을 movement, new village movement. Ladies and gentlemen, Korea achieved the rapid economic development of personal income to more than $20,000 from only $50 in 1960, owing to the national approach characterized by new village movement, 새마을 movement, new rural movement, with the spirit of candle split, based on diligence, self-reliance, and cooperation, and to successful economic policies of the government and to human resource development. We Koreans recognize that there is no hope to those. There's no hope, no better tomorrow to those who are the idle, who are lent to be reliable to others, and who are not corporate. The economic and the political chaos that followed the liberation from the Japanese colonial rule and the Korean War did not provide Korea with favorable conditions for economic development. But one of the key initiatives of Korean government during 1960 to 1980 was to create and implement powerful centralized economic policies such as national five-year economic and social development plan. 1970 to 1980, our government put the first priority to the light industry, oriented at labor-intensive industry. After that, from 1980 to 1995, our government emphasized the heavy industry, such as automobile making, steel industry, shipbuilding. Now, Korea ranks the first in shipbuilding industry and the top 5 in steel making and the car industry in the world. Provides the vision of future while maintaining a tight control of allocation of national resources in order to make sure that investment activities would take place according to its priorities and plans. The government officially proclaimed its policy priority, a growth first, distribution second. And the government has stimulated the people's willpower desire for the development of their community on a voluntary basis. Now, from 1995 to nowadays, my government put the most emphasis on information and the technology industry and this biological industry, such as semiconductors, computer science, mobile communication, and nano, and so on. As a result, Korea is now regarded as the most powerful in information and technology industry. Growth-oriented and export-led economic development since 1960s was so remarkable that Korea earned the expression, the miracle of Hangang River, the miracle on the Hangang River in the 1970s. During this period, Korea was bent on the aim of economic development, and we Koreans were mobilized for the purpose of economic growth. So education was also organized in order to make a contribution to the national development. The economy today ranks, despite of its small territory with its scarce natural resources, the 12th largest in the world. Subsequently, Seoul has successfully hosted the 21st Seoul Olympic Games and the FIFA World Cup. Through these sports occasions, we Koreans demonstrated to the world our rich cultural heritage, love of art, and hope for the world peace and human prosperity. Distinguished guests, Korea's economic accomplishment over the last 4 decades will be very suggestive, and will be a lesson to Haiti, whose people, whose new president, and whose new government have a strong desire to develop and modernize their country, Haiti. Korea did it in the last millennium. Now, in this new millennium, Haiti will do it. Haiti will do it in this new millennium. International world, including Korea, should help Haiti to do it. And dear Haitian people, please let me tell you one thing. In order to develop and modernize Haiti, your country, President Martin's law is very important. And the more important thing is the role of government officials, regardless of high positions or low positions. But the most important thing is the role of all of you Haitian people, everybody, regardless of the old or the young, regardless of the female or male, regardless of the rich or the poor, regardless of the learned or non-learned. You remember, I believe you remember, President John F. Kennedy's famous remarks. You know, do not ask what your country can do for you. Do not ask others what you can do for you, but ask what you can do for others, what you can do for your country, Haiti. Now it's in difficult position, but I believe the future of Haiti, together, all of you, Haiti's people's capacity and power. One more time, I hope you put your right hand.
Levez votre main droite. Une
Please
fois
follow
encore,
me.
s'il vous plaît.
Footprints,
Bravo.
new footprints. Haiti, new Haiti. One more time, I appreciate for accompanying me with this precious opportunity of my special remarks at this meaningful event.
Encore, je vous remercie de l'opportunité que vous m'avez donnée de partager ces quelques mots avec vous au cours de cet événement important.
God bless Haiti, its people, and all of you present here.
Que Dieu bénisse Haïti, que Dieu bénisse les Haïtiens et vous tous présents ici.
Merci beaucoup. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. Merci ampio. Merci ampio.